They know what the deal is. We are dialing up Joyce Sharman at this very moment. She is the author of an incredible new movie out. Do I take a break here? This movie is absolutely incredible. Jimmy?
Hi, Joyce.
Yes.
This is Jimmy Young calling and Jimmy Myers
Calling from the Jimmy Show in Boston, Massachusetts. How are you?
I'm great, Jimmy and Jimmy. How are you?
We are doing wonderful, dear. First and foremost, last week we were supposed to have you and there was a family emergency. I put those things a heck of a lot higher on my priority list than anything. Is the family emergency under control now? Is everything okay, Joyce?
Everything's great. Thank
Good.
you so
Thank
much
God,
for asking.
Because believe me, I put that in prayer as soon as I heard it last week. I said, I can't let anything happen to her. Joyce, you and I go way back. Even to that time of the 33-game win streak, I'd known you long before then and have interviewed you over the years. But this project, please tell me, how did this get started and what made you be so fervent in getting this done? Because I can't wait to get my copy of it. I know I'm getting a copy, don't worry, Joyce, but how did you do it?
Well, I just thought it was such a great story, and I felt like it needed to be told, and it didn't seem like anybody was telling it, so I took it upon myself to do that, and it was really a labor of love.
Now, the one thing I picked up on this, Joyce, is the fact that this was the name of this documentary is 33 STR 8, which was Bill's license plate number, correct?
That's right. The great Hall of Famer George Yardley's son gave it to Bill.
Okay.
And it just became the name of the film.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Joyce, as you started on this journey, you mentioned something that not too much had been talked about over the years. I was a very young reporter, Joyce, and I had a chance to be in the middle of that streak. I truly felt blessed, and as the years have gone on, I've tried to tell all these other young sportscasters, you weren't there. I got a chance to cover this team on a day-to-day basis. Jim McMillian, I've known since his college days at Columbia. He's one of my best friends in life. Your husband was one of my dearest people. Casey Jones has always been a mentor of mine. And these are some of the principal people. And I got to know Jerry West over the years. But people keep forgetting, which is just as important to me, that Bill Sharman, former Celtic, is the architect of the Lakers' current dynasty. He moved up to the front office after this and became that guiding force that built all those championship teams of the Magic years. Am I correct?
Oh, my gosh, Jimmy. Well, you know what? You are correct. Actually, Bill is the one that had the coin toss at that time. They did a coin toss for the top draft pick.
You got it. Mm-hmm.
And Rod Thorne, who was the GM of the Bulls, called Bill and said, my fans would like to do a promotion, and they want to pick, and they would like to pick heads or tails, and Bill didn't want to do it, but he said, he thought to himself, it'll be good for the league, let's let them have their promotion, and he let them do it, and they picked heads, and it came up tails, and they got mad.
And they got magic.
It just went on from there.
And the rest, as they say, was history.
Yes.
Joyce, tell me, though, what is it like being the person that's right there, biting your nails? Because I was in the forum watching you. It was the old forum then. And the anxiety as that streak got longer and longer and longer. What was it like for you? Because I could see the look on your face as you were always trying to be cool and calm. But the anxiety must have been incredible. Because, see, Bill's in the battle. It's different for him. What was it like for you?
Yes, Bill was he stayed very calm always. But I used to get so wound up and so beside myself that I would have to go up in the concession stands and walk around because I couldn't take the stress.
I hear you.
And actually in the 80s, I would do the same thing during all those championship years. I would get beside myself, and I'd go up there and walk around, and Jerry West.
You were Jerry West? I used to feel so sorry for you people. I said, winning this much, but I'd see you pacing one end of the hall and Jerry West pacing the other end of the hall. Good.
Hey,
But
go ahead.
you mentioned Jim McMillian,
Yeah.
and Jim McMillian is just the most wonderful guy.
Yes,
oh
he
my
is.
gosh,
Yes.
just a delight.
Joyce,
He was at our event.
right, I was going to ask you, tell me a little bit about the event. It seemed like it was a who's who
And basketball legends out there last week.
You know, it truly was. We were so blessed that the guys came, and Jim came from North Carolina, and actually Bill Russell even came because he's in the film, and he drove down from Seattle. And Pat Riley flew in from Miami. And it was just phenomenal. It was an evening none of us will ever forget.
But these must have seemed, some of these younger guys, they must have seemed like your kids, Joyce. I mean, Jim McMillian, they were just a bunch of young guys. We had Jimmy Clemens on, who was a rookie on that team. We had him on a couple of weeks ago. And he mentioned, he was the one, in fact, that told me, you got to get in touch with Joyce. Joyce just did a movie. I said, what? I said, on the 33. I said, then we got to find her. So we had to go dig
Oh.
But as you know, these young men, the character of that team, Gail Goodrich, Jerry West, Happy Harrison, Wilt Chamberlain, Jim McMillian were your starters. Pat Riley came off the bench. And, you know, in fact, Keith Erickson was the announcer at that time, if memory serves me correctly.
No,
he was doing Lakers games with Chick Hearn. But what was it like?
He was on the team. He
What
was
was it
on
like?
the team at that time.
What was it like being like that mother figure to them?
Well, you know, they're just terrific guys. They're just wonderful guys, and you know, as they all said the other night, you know, when you're winning, there doesn't seem to be as many problems.
Yep.
And boy, were they winning! And of course, my husband was the voice of reason and calm, and was a father figure to them.
Yes.
And Pat Riley clearly says that because his father had passed away. And Jerry West said he was a pathfinder, Zen master, started the whole Zen thing, and just went on and on. It was wonderful.
Joyce, this is going to be distributed, I'm hoping, in places where people can somehow or other get their hands on it or get a chance to view it. Who has the rights to it, and how are you going to be distributing it?
Well, at this time, Time Warner has picked up the film, and it's going to be shown on Time Warner, but that would be the West Coast.
Okay.
And we're in negotiations for distribution around the world. We have a distributor, so it's not for sale individually yet.
Okay, well, let's hope we get it on an HBO or a Fox or something.
You know what? I'll tell you something. Penny Marshall attended the other night because, you know, she's such a Lakers
Big
fan.
Laker fan.
She said, this has to be on HBO, HBO. And Pat Riley was on stage, and after the film, he said, this should be on ESPN 30 for 30.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Without a doubt. You know, I was just so thrilled that they all loved the film. I was very grateful and proud. And proud of all of them.
Joyce, you spent most of your life in basketball. And you studied the game, and you probably know it better than most guys do. What was the beauty, the true beauty of that team and the magic that they performed during that 33-game win streak?
Well, I think that, you know, as the movie, as the film stresses, and as the guys stressed our events, because we had a panel after the film, and they all went up on stage and talked. And Bill was an innovator, and he started the shoot-around. I don't know if you know that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and he started the shoot-around with that team. And the day they started the shoot-around started the 33-game streak. And and also he was very innovative with showing films and also with scouting. scouting was not a big thing then, and he came up with one-sheet scouting. And, so he was very innovative, and he was a winner, so they respected him.
Mm-hmm.
And they all stress, it's all stress, it's all the detail, and preparation. And Bill very, very strong in that, and he worked them very hard, and they all said that.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry West, he went to training camp that year to Hawaii, and went there tan, came back pale.
Went there tan and came back pale. Yeah, he ran him to death then. But Joyce, as I look at it and I think about because I followed that streak for so long. And I remember as Miami was approaching the 27-game win streak, and they got close and so forth. And I was saying to myself, and Pat Riley being the president, chief executive officer of the team, even he said if we had got to 33, everybody would have gotten the flu. I was not letting them break this record. He said, I wanted this. I know,
wasn't that great?
That's great.
But you know what? Pat cherishes that season. They all do. Pat said that's a season with special people, special friends, forever memories, and he just loved it. And Jerry West and all of them. And I don't know if you know, but since I started working on the film 2 years ago, we lost Leroy Ellis,
Leroy Ellis.
and Glenn Robinson, and of course my husband.
Yep.
So I'm so grateful to have them all on film.
Yeah.
Talking.
That is the beauty of media. Joyce, I got to ask you, what do you think of the modern game of basketball?
Well, it's certainly exciting. It's exciting, and it's entertainment. It's very entertaining.
But it's not as good basketball. The fundamentals aren't there. Come on. It's just not the same.
You're talking to Bill Sharman's wife now.
Right.
You know I'm going to be very diplomatic.
Okay, Mrs. Diplomacy. I'll give you a good one then, okay? Because I want you to think about this. From the time that your husband left the Celtics in '59, and it was a very painful time for him, because I talked to Bill about this over the years, to him becoming the architect and becoming the forerunner of, as you mentioned, the shoot-around and a bunch of other innovations he brought into the game, along with another Celtic in Casey Jones, who he brought in to help work with the defense. And that magical team that played great offense and great defense, do you think we're going to see another team like that anytime soon, Joyce? Because 27 was hard enough. Believe me, LeBron and everybody said, I'm glad it's over, we're worn out. Do you think we're going to see anybody approach that record?
Well, when you see the film, you'll see the comments from everyone, and they all feel that it will never be done again. And we interviewed local, LA sports icons such as Tommy Lasorda, and Tommy's not going to say anything he doesn't mean.
No, he doesn't. That's true.
Tommy said, this just won't be done again. To have no man is going to coach the Lakers and win 33 in a row again, unless the Lord himself comes down to coach.
I hear you.
Yeah, but he can't go to his left, the Lord. That's what I understand. That he's,
Careful.
Sorry.
Careful. I'm a Christian.
It's a joke. I know.
Don't go there.
It's a joke.
Don't go there. Sometimes I gotta rein my partner in, George. It gets a little
know.
crazy. He's Jewish. I'm a Christian. We ain't hearing that going to the left and the right stuff on this program. God, I will defend you always. Joyce, one of the more painful things that Joyce Sharman had to endure was watching your husband lose his voice. And people don't really realize how difficult that was. That's one of the more painful parts of this story for me, when Bill could only speak in a whisper, because it really forced him to stop coaching too. What was that like for you?
Well, we go into that in the film, and, the doctors told Bill during the stroke I'm sorry, during the street, that he needed to stop right then, or he would have probably have an advantage. And of course, he wasn't about to quit. And even Wilt Chamberlain said the man gave everything he had. I put in that, and his voice was one of the things he gave. And Richard Nixon was president that year.
Yep.
And he wrote Bill a letter and said, it seems that you won, the only thing you lost here was your voice. You know, and it was very hard on Bill. Tried and tried. We had so many different things to try for voice, and nothing really was successful, but he was always positive and just kept on doing the best he could.
Well, the film is called 33 Straight, and believe me, I feel like you, Joyce. I think it's going to be a long time before anybody can break that. I think the teamwork aspect of that group of men is what made it so very special. I know that Jerry West and Gail Goodrich, two Hall of Famers, they averaged close to 50 points in the backcourt. Wilt Chamberlain, another Hall of Famer, was there.
Yeah.
Elgin Baylor retired 11 games into the season, allowing Jimmy McMillian to step in, and that's when the streak really got rolling. But the funniest story, one of the funniest stories, and we'll talk about the late Wilt Chamberlain in regards to the fact that Wilt would be playing volleyball in the afternoon, come in, sweaty, sand in his hair, and still go out and grab 18 rebounds. And but the weirdest part was the whole issue of shoot around. And the story goes that Wilt Chamberlain, when he first heard that Bill Sharman was going to have shoot around, he calls Bill Sharman and says, "Coach, I'm only going to come to the arena one time a day. Either you can have me for shoot around or you can have me for the game." Well, Bill Sharman figured out a way, because when they came here during that streak, and we're in New York, and I followed from here to New York, Wilt Chamberlain was at every shoot around, sweetheart. So what did Bill tell him, Joyce, to make him understand that you're going to be here? If we have to be here, you have to be here. What did he tell him, Joyce?
Well, you know, Bill had a great story about when he wanted to talk to Wilt about the shoot around. And he took him to lunch to discuss it. And Wilt picked him up in a purple Bentley in front of the forum, convertible. And Bill came straight out in his warm-up outfit. And they went to a local restaurant for lunch, and Bill was telling Wilt how he wanted to try this shoot-around thing and how it had helped him so much when he played. And the one thing about Bill that they all tell you is that he was very frugal. And when Bill paid for the lunch, he had left his wallet in his locker, and he was just panicked about Wilt's and then trying to convince him around. So it was a great story, and it turned out that the owner of the restaurant recognized both and picked up the lunch tab. And Bill came every around at 2, and both times called that he wouldn't do this. And I think he admired Bill and admired him as a player. And Bill made Bill believe that it was his idea to shoot around.
Psychologist to the end.
Yeah.
Oh, Joyce, listen, God bless you. Please stay safe. I know you miss Bill every day. I miss him as well. My condolences over his loss, belated, obviously. But more importantly, you brilliant young woman, please keep moving this project forward, because I'm getting a copy. I have one of the first copies, believe me. And I will find you. Here, Joyce, you sign it. I'll just need you to sign my copy, and I'm keeping it.
Oh, Jimmy, I promise I'll send you one.
God bless you, lady.
Promise that.
Please stay safe. The best to you and your family.
Too.
And I pray that we'll get a chance to talk again soon.
I do too, and thank you so much. I really appreciate your interest in the project.
No, thank you.
Hope you like the film.
Thank you.
And we'll make sure that we get you a copy of this too, Joyce. I'll send it to you via email. All right? Thank you so much.
Take care, Joyce.
You bet.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Well, Mr. Myers, that was
incredible
fun.
woman.
I can't wait to see the.
Incredible woman.
Can't wait to see the movie now.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Some
It's
great
gonna-
stories.
Well,
you know,
the
for us
reason
Celtics
being
fans,
that-
it's a little trying.
Well, not
okay?
only that. Think about this. Bill Sharman leaves here
Right.
in '59. Like I said, they let him go, and they went on to keep winning. Bill Russell said, "Smartest player I ever played with." That means, and Bill loved Bob Cousy, but he said Bill Sharman was the smartest player on our team. It's in Russell's diaries and so forth. And for Bill Russell to go there,
Right.
that's the story to me. Bill Russell showed up in Los Angeles for this event. And I'm told that the entire audience like, whoa,
Look
this
who's
is
here."
Bill Russell, our all-time leading tormentor,
That's
the
right.
man who killed us 8 times in the finals. But he came here to pay tribute
To this game.
Bill Sharman, Casey Jones, his former college teammate,
Yep.
Bill Sharman, who played at USC. And it's just, it's what makes sports to me so incredibly great. It shows me the class of Bill Russell. And speaking of which, I have a contact with Bill Russell. We're going to try to find a way to get that Portnoy photo to Bill Russell, because that would be very, very.
Well,
I'm
Stuart
sure
Lane would probably be able to get him.
Well,
Stuart worked
okay.
with Bill for many years.
Yeah, but
I
there's
think
somebody else. So okay,
We'll
we
work
got
on
to
it.
do that, because
We'll work on that.
that Russell portrait is absolutely beautiful.
Neil
and I
does
see Brady,
great work.
I still see Brady sitting over your right shoulder, so you got nothing to worry
Hi,
about as
Tom.
far as that's concerned.
He is a good-looking guy, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Even in Magic Marker.
A special thanks to Neil Portnoy,
Yeah.
who is more than a friend. Neil is a colleague, and there aren't that many colleagues in this business that I even keep in touch with, because most of them, they're okay. They're decent people. I like what they do, some of them I don't. But Neil is special, because the first time I ever saw Neil's work, I knew I was viewing something that was over the top. And I had Neil on TV, radio, and we always said, Neil, one day your stuff is going to be shown everywhere. And to see now, at this stage of his life, that Neil has just about everything he wants, and he's gained that global fame that I try to tell people about, and he's never changed his principles. He's never once stopped being Neil Portnoy. That I admire in him or anybody like him. His artwork, his work speaks for itself. I mean, it's just breathtaking. And I know he has a Jimmy Myers somewhere in that library, because I had a copy of it at one time. I'm keeping mine.
With or without hair?
No, I had hair. He
Woo,
actually
I wanna
did
see
me
that.
with hair. So you definitely want to see that. And if I can ever find it, I'm going to bring it in and say, here, Jimmy, now eat your heart out. I actually had hair. I had a Jerry curl at one time. So don't even go there, young man. But
What's a Jerry curl?
never mind. It's a thing it's too deep. Believe it or not, you look like you got a little Jerry curl. But we're gonna leave it alone though. We're gonna leave it alone. Another place, another time. But
Let's wrap it up.
as Neil gets ready to go off to Las Vegas, which I am going, and may not be back for a while, I just wish him all the success in the world, because guys like him, they just don't come along that often, and you really want to appreciate him while you got him, because one day he'll close his eyes, and then all this stuff will be like stuff in the Louvre. You would say, oh, that must be a Portnoy, because every time I go somewhere, I say, that's Portnoy. People say, how do you know? I know. That's a Portnoy. And sure enough, I'll look down and I say, there's a Portnoy right there. And I said, how do you know? I said, because I know the artist. What a feeling that is. It's like, I know Van Gogh, I know Rembrandt, and I know Portnoy. So we'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave
Time
the
to do
show
it.
at that, too. Hey, Jimmy Myers, as usual, you put on a great show tonight.
Hey, we
I
have
even
fun.
enjoyed watching
I
you.
have fun. I love my job. This is what I do.
Well, you did a great job. Getting Joyce Sharman, I thought, was a great coup. Next week, we'll talk to Harvard basketball coach Tommy Amaker.
Wait till you hear that one.
And I believe Dennis Ozer is going to come back. So for Hip Studio, our new sponsor, we want to thank them, Scrub-A-Dub Car Wash. For Jimmy Myers, I'm Jimmy Young.
Reminding you of two things. What we do in life will echo in eternity. And that's what it is for now in sports.
All right.